That was a time when the US and Europe were also benefiting from China's rise, and there was a nice, arrangement there that was helping US and European businesses and the Chinese economy. But now, if you look at the next 10 years of this competition, the US and the Europeans are much like the Chinese girl who was your research assistant at Columbia saying, the US is saying, I don't want to be number two. I only want to be number one, right?
Yeah.
And I'll come back to that because I think that's a values-based problem also later. But in a scenario where the US and Europe, the large economic heavyweights along with China in the world, and to some extent India, the other heavyweight, economic heavyweight emerging now on the global stage as the fourth largest economy soon, in light of not positive relations, do you think the Chinese economy can continue to grow the way it has? Even if they were to get the meritocracy correct and the fractionalism and the corruption, you need the rest of the world to grow. And if the rest of the world doesn't want it and doesn't want it like really strongly, right? I mean, the US couldn't be less clear about what it wants, as we've been discussing.
You're absolutely right that in the early phases of Chinese growth, both the Americans and Europeans were very magnanimous, and certainly the Americans were very magnanimous in allowing China to join the WTO, although they didn't anticipate the long-term consequences for themselves. But here, this brings me to another point about how the Chinese are thinking strategically. When I mentioned that their share of the global manufacturing has gone up from 5% to 45%.
Which is incredible.
That's not by accident, that's by design.
Yeah.
And what's the design here? If let's say tomorrow, if the United States decided, for whatever reason, I'm going to declare war on China. And the Chinese said, okay, war has come. We will now stop all our exports to China, to the United States. You know what's going to happen? An incredible number of American companies will collapse.
No, absolutely. And consumer inflation will happen.
Apple, for example, right? This phone, Apple, right? You know how many of its critical components come from China? The dependency on China, by the way, of Apple hasn't gone down. It has gone up in recent years. Now, this is by design.